If your team relies on cloud development platforms, CVE severity scores, or the trust users place in Apple account emails, today's briefing impacts your operations. Here's what changed and what you can do right now. Welcome to the Cybersecurity Roundup. We'll start with a broad patching push across vendors, move to Vercel's confirmed security incident, examine a shift in how NIST handles lower priority vulnerabilities, and close with a phishing technique abusing legitimate Apple account alerts. First, the daily trend. Multiple vendors release security patches or advisories addressing newly disclosed vulnerabilities. The headline context is straightforward. A wave of vendor updates landed at once, closing fresh exposure created by recent disclosures. The key facts are that these are official patches or advisories. They target newly identified flaws, and the scope spans multiple products and platforms. Why it matters is timing. Clusters of disclosures and patches compress defender response windows while creating a short-lived advantage for attackers who move before organizations deploy fixes. The defender takeaway is to prioritize patching based on exposure. Start with internet-facing systems, authentication gateways, and software with known exploitability. Apply vendor mitigation guidance where patching must be staged, and validate that compensating controls like web application firewalls, endpoint controls, and backup integrity are in place as you roll updates. Keep a close watch for out-of-band advisories this week and confirm patches actually applied via configuration management or scanning, not just change tickets. Next, Vercel confirms a breach as hackers claim to be selling stolen data. The headline context is that a major cloud development platform reported a security incident, while threat actors simultaneously claim they accessed and are attempting to sell data tied to the service. The key facts available are that Vercel has disclosed an incident, and criminal actors are advertising alleged stolen material. The extent and nature of any data exposure have not been detailed publicly at this time. Why it matters is that Vercel underpins front-end deployments and serverless workloads for many teams, meaning any compromise could have operational ripple effects across build pipelines, environment variables, and production traffic. Even uncertainty alone can force incident readiness actions for organizations that depend on the platform. The defender takeaway is to assume prudent readiness measures now. Inventory where your organization uses Vercel across environments. Monitor Vercel's official communications and your account for unusual activity. Review and rotate access tokens, API keys, and any secrets stored or referenced through your integrations. Enforce least privilege for team roles, and prepare to act quickly if new indicators or advisories appear. And increase logging on deployments and configuration changes. If you federate identity, check for anomalous sign-ins and consider step-up authentication for administrative actions until clarity improves. Third, NIST will stop rating non-priority flaws due to a volume increase. The headline context is a process change. The National Institute of Standards and Technology plans to stop assigning severity scores to lower priority vulnerabilities as submission volumes continue to rise. The key facts are that NIST is narrowing its scoring focus to manage workload, and that this is part of an ongoing challenge tied to the scale of disclosures. Why it matters is that many organizations lean on NVD scores to drive vulnerability triage, SLAs, and patch pipelines. Reduced coverage or delays for lower priority entries will create gaps if teams depend on those scores as the sole input for risk. The defender takeaway is to strengthen your internal risk-based triage. Don't wait on external scoring to act on issues that clearly affect your attack surface. Combine vendor advisories, exploit availability signals, asset criticality, and exposure context to prioritize work. Align processes so that missing or delayed severity scores do not stall remediation, and tune dashboards and SLAs to handle entries without standardized ratings. Finally, Apple account change alerts are being abused to send phishing emails. The headline context is that attackers are inserting fake iPhone purchase or account change content into messages that are delivered as legitimate notifications from Apple's own servers. The key facts are that the emails originate from legitimate infrastructure. They mimic routine account change alerts, and this increases their chance of bypassing spam filters and user skepticism. Why it matters is that the usual red flags, suspicious sender domains, or poor formatting, may not apply here, raising the risk of successful credential theft against even well-trained users. This technique also challenges standard email authentication controls because the delivery source is legitimate. The defender takeaway is twofold: reinforce behavioral guidance and strengthen technical controls. Coach users to verify any unexpected Apple activity by navigating directly to account settings or the official app, rather than clicking links or calling numbers in an email. On the technical side, tune security tools to scrutinize links and reply to headers within trusted brand emails, flag unusual call-to-action patterns, and block known phishing destinations. For managed devices and accounts, enforce multi-factor authentication and consider phishing-resistant methods where available. Increase monitoring for new device logins or password resets tied to corporate-associated Apple IDs. That's today's operational picture. If this brief helped you tighten your playbook, consider subscribing, sharing with your team, and leaving a comment about the controls you're prioritizing this week. Stay safe out there.